turn this around. In fact, we actually had St. Patty's, and we had like a St. Patty's Day special. And that was kind of our first, turn, as we said, look, let's just turn it into a to-go pickup situation. The meal that that we had planned. And so from there, we just kind of, just rolled straight right into it. Definitely a shout out to my team. When this happened, I basically said, everyone is eligible for unemployment. I'm going to be here. If you don't feel like it's safe for you, then, you don't have to be here. Everybody stayed on. Everybody took on whatever role they had to. The entire team, we kind of got together and spent the first couple of days just completely, flipping the restaurant into this takeout mode. I can definitely say that, we definitely made, we just kind of did our best and just said, we're going to keep rolling and fix things as we go along. The first week, we just kind of took it by week. The first week, my goal was, we have all this inventory. Technically, we can't, we can just do takeout. So the first week was just to get rid of all the perishable inventory that we had. After that, it went, the community has always been very supportive of us and was even more supportive at this time. So at that point, we decided just to invest more into takeout. And so again, we just did that. And again, everybody on the team just kind of took on roles, helping out with social media, whether it was helping out with reprogramming the back end of all of our POS system. So yeah, it wasn't, for me, I was here 16 hours a day. And just to kind of get it rolling. And then from there, we were fortunate to start partnering up with some of the other local businesses, which we had in the past. Before that, we were making bread for Savio, McKay's, the Wine Steward. And then when we then got with Metal Art Dairy and started making bread for them. We just recently started making bread for Jeans. So all that stuff was just really helpful. I think that, in this time, anything small or large is helpful. And so, again, we just moving forward, every week we just kind of treated it as, this is our new job. This is what we're doing. I'm definitely not looking back and kind of, at the previous model or the more traditional model that we had before. I do think that this is going to be, we might be in this situation for a while for multiple reasons, whether it's consumer confidence, I think is going to be a really big challenge, getting people to come out. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to come out. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very hesitant. And so for us, we're just kind of trying to look into the future, but we're also looking at what we can do right now to make the most of our current situation, our current model. And again, that's also been, to the team, whether it's employees making suggestions on, how to just raise the check average or, whether it's a meal pack idea or whatever it is, and we just do it. We definitely have, made some mistakes on the way. We definitely appreciate the community being supportive through some of those mistakes. But we just kind of keep moving forward and try to really keep it rolling, try to keep the ideas coming, and just really try to make this this current model more efficient. And then, I'm still even looking forward to not just surviving. How do I make money off of all this? How do we really, thrive in this time? That's still my goal, to still try to make money, whether it's, the previous model or our current model.
Great. Thank you, Matt. That's wonderful and exciting what you've been able to do. And I know that's not a lot of time to tell us your story, but we want to give everybody an opportunity to share their special thing that they've been doing to survive. And next, it's my pleasure to introduce Joe Jewell. Joe with Inkley's Coffee and Tea. So we'd love to hear what you've been able to do during this very challenging time.
Thank you, Steve, and thanks for having me. Yeah, my name's Joe. I'm the executive director at Inklings Coffee and Tea. We are an artisan coffee and tea company or shop, and we've been around in the downtown Pleasanton area since 2016. A little bit about us: we sell, and I might be biased, but we sell Stumptown coffee, which to me is the best coffee on the planet, but we can argue about that on another day. And we sell artisan drinks, tea, kombucha. We've also have a number of small businesses that we partner with as vendors that provide us with pastries and desserts and things like that. You know, we also offer, well, did offer before COVID-19 hit, we offered event space, and that was such a huge thing for us here at Inklings. But when all this shelter in place stuff hit, like so many of you, we were asking ourselves, what do we do? How do we stay open? How do we position ourselves to become essential, not only as a company, but really our goal was to be essential to the community. So what we did was we first came up with a plan to pivot how we do business. Prior to this, and as Matt was saying, we feel fortunate as well because we were already putting together a business plan on how to make curbside an option for service before COVID-19. So we took that plan, we quickly put that into place. And then prior to that, we were creating partnerships with, you know, different nonprofits. I was in communication with the different people within the community. And so from there, what we decided to do was we decided to lean into our mission. We sat down and we said, well, what's our mission? Our mission is to seek the good of the city. Really, our goal as a company is, yes, to provide the best product that we possibly can with the best service, but more importantly, we want to see the city flourish. And so what we did was we did pivot some of those business options by going to a curbside and walk-in only. We immediately went into launched our online ordering. We immediately launched into a delivery with DoorDash. And if you go onto our website, what you'll see immediately as soon as you get on there is an option to order online. And that's, you could come and walk in or grab that curbside or get it delivered through DoorDash. So we immediately went to those models, but we knew that we couldn't, you know, with all the fear that was out there and all the uncertainty, we knew that we couldn't just do those things. And maybe we could have, but what we decided to do was we said, well, there's a lot of people, you know, scared to come outside. So how do we make ourselves an essential part of the community? And quite honestly, we wanted to help the community as well. So we said, you know, City Serve offices upstairs at Inklings already. So we started with them and we asked, how can we partner with you? How can we help you as you guys are helping some of our neighbors in the community? So we immediately launched into a partnership with City Serve and said, hey, we're going to be a donation spot for City Serve. And to be honest, the cool thing with that was, yes, we're helping the community, but we also got a lot of foot traffic. If I'm just being honest, people would come in, bring donations, and buy a drink or a pastry on their way out. And then another connection with another nonprofit where now we are donating coffee and we're collecting gift cards for them. Another way to bring in foot traffic as well. But then as a team, we noticed just through conversations with different customers is we noticed it was beginning to be really hard on people to go out to grocery stores and to get their essential groceries. And so we said, well, let's launch into selling a few essential groceries. And so we don't sell everything you can find at Trader Joe's or Safeway, but some of those essentials has made it easier for people to order online, come into Inklings, grab their items, maybe grab a coffee, and on their way out. And so what we really did was we leaned on sort of that add-on model that stores have. If you go into Safeway, you know, you buy a mint or a gum, add-ons are essential for so many companies. And so we said, well, what if we just recreate that? And so that's where the selling of essential groceries and different partnerships came in as well. A number of partnerships that we've been able to form over the course of this month is with our friends at Farmers and Wheels, a local produce company where you go online, you order customized produce, it's fresh, it's local, and it goes straight to Inklings. You pick it up here, and hey, while you're here, buy a coffee as well. For Mother's Day, we said, well, who can we partner with? So we called Salon 645 and said, hey, we want to partner with you in creating a Mother's Day gift bag. And so we got some jewelry and some things from them. Another local business approached us, and now we're helping them to sell art kits. Another way to bring in people into Inklings and to check us out as well. And then we said, well, you know, people want to get out. We've had date nights stolen from us. No one can go into restaurants. Let's just be honest. But we're all tired of being at home. So let's reinvent date night, right? Let's reinvent going out. And so what we've launched into is every Friday we are partnering with different food trucks around the Tri-Valley and around the Bay Area. And we're saying, hey, come out. We ask that you give 10% or raise money to a donation just to keep true to our mission to seek the good of the city. But we're launching this initiative to say, let's, you know, drive in, park. We have a parking lot, eat in your car, reinvent date night, and also give to a great cause. And what that's allowed us to do is also just to stay open later and to sell more drinks and to bring more revenue into our business as well. Another great thing that we've been able to do is, again, staying true to our mission. How do we, you know, create a little more add-ons to help us, you know, continue business? And so we launched a Pay It Forward campaign where we said, come in, buy coffee, and then donate $2 or more to our Pay It Forward campaign, where we are giving coffee or drinks to anyone off the street or essential workers. A few weeks ago, we were able to donate to a medical personnel at Stanford, and just give them coffee, hopefully brighten their day, and to give them a thank you and to let them know that we see them and how essential they are to all of us, really. And so it's those sorts of things that I think the community engages with so well. The fact is, yes, people love coffee, but people love people more. And so we wanted to really position ourselves to be a place where Inklings can play a small part in helping the community flourish. So a couple things that we,
Joe, I hate to cut you off here, but
go for it.
We've got hopefully we can get back to you. We're
no worries.
A little past your time, so I want to give everybody time to talk. So thank you. Great examples, and keep up the good work. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Wendy Schulte with Goodcummins Naturals. Hi, Wendy.
Hi. So as you know, my name is Wendy Schulte. I own Goodcummins Naturals on Main Street. We're a soap and skincare shop that's all handmade. And we opened our store June of last year. So we're about to hit our 1-year mark on Main Street. Woo. When the shelter in place was announced, there's a couple of things that we immediately did. First things was very close to what Matt said, is I immediately gave my employees the option if they wanted to work or not. First and foremost, their safety was my #1 priority. And then honestly, we went back and forth 2 or 3 times during that first week, like, okay, are we open? Are we closed? Are we essential? We just followed what the city's order was. And we initially closed our doors and offered what's it called? Will call pickup. So the will call pickup allowed people to just come straight to the door without entering the business, grab what they need and leave. I took that time to revamp my website. I had a website from the beginning. It was very novelty. It was just good to look at, not really to actually use. So I updated photos, I updated our descriptions, made everything up to date. Anything that was newly created, which I hadn't updated in about a year, was like, okay, we need to update all this stuff. I took advantage of a few things right off the bat. I think we're going to hear this repeat over and over again, that certain opportunities that businesses never got the option to take a chance to take a part of, we now take a part of. For example, our email campaigns from Square, which is our POS system, allowed us to immediately reach out to our customers, let them know what's going on, and let them know how we're going to take care of them. And then the second part was to use the same type of communication, which is like our social media, to like offer specials and things that we knew that people definitely needed. Within the first 2 weeks, our community has been amazing, just to, order and support us, and like we've been making Mother's Day baskets till, we're blue in the face. But we also wanted to do things for like the families who are dying at homes, quote unquote, trying to figure out what to do with their kids. So we started doing DIY bath bomb kits and make your own scrub kits and things like that, so they could entertain their children, learn a little bit, have some fun making at the same time. Let's see. Also, another thing that was great was that we were able to kind of hear some of people's needs. Like I made a couple of masks for some of our friends, and all of a sudden we had some requests that people wanted us to make masks. So I just put it on the website. 50 masks later, I realized that I'm not a great seamstress, even though I was able to produce, but I was able to find some friends who were out of work, had a sewing machine, and was willing to make them for me. So that was really, really wonderful to be able to, do that for them. Right now, currently, the masks are on the website, and then yet it's something that I could provide that I wasn't making a profit on, but yet then, when they buy a mask, they'll want to go buy, hopefully they'll want to buy other products in the meantime, which is another way of driving business towards the website. Since the website wasn't really popular at the time, I've started doing more social media to boost it. After about 2 weeks of the, COVID-19 and everything shut down, I reopened Will Call after I figured out with my employees, kind of like banding together to actually figure out what we're comfortable with. We decided a 1-hour Will Call pickup Monday through Friday was going to be the best thing for us, meaning all the customers, they could pick up their orders without having to pay for any shipping, and we would cover any other costs. At the same time, if they purchased $40 or more, we would ship it to you for free. It's no different than offering, say, maybe a couple percentage off or a discount off of, product. I decided offer free shipping. I mean, if you're a retail store, I think that a lot of companies understand that this is the best way to get a customer to buy a certain amount of product, like a certain price point you'd like to hit, as well as giving them something in return. Free shipping was the best thing that, we could ever created. Also, I didn't technically do anything like with like partnerships, but I did do a couple of giveaways with local businesses. So in fact, I actually just put a couple of Mother's Day baskets together and then gave them to other businesses. And then they did some promoting, which did a lot of following. So people were like, oh, I found you because of this. And then I'm buying it regardless. And there were a couple of, in the questions, there was one of the ways that the tips that I could give is just communication with your customers. Use the social media. If you're not using it already, I would highly suggest it. I also think that your ability to use your POS system or your business's way of collecting people's information, like emails, if you're able to use that, I would highly suggest it, because without us initially being able to announce that we were making some masks, we wouldn't have been able to continue working. I think that business would have slowly died, and we wouldn't be moving anywhere else.
Thanks, Wendy. Great story. And I just think it's great that you've all talked about, number one was to make sure your employees are safe and taking care of them, which I think is really good to hear. So next, let me introduce Mojan, and I think you have someone else that joined you with Yoga Barn in Pleasanton. Welcome, Mojan.
having me, and Rebecca, she'll come and we'll try to keep our distance. We came to the barn today to do this webinar, but my name is Mojgan Tehranyan, and I own Yoga Barn of Pleasanton in the Cottager Barn at the Adobe Plaza in downtown Pleasanton. I've had Yoga Barn since September of 2018, and we were doing great, fantastic. We're just starting to take off, and then we went down like everybody else. And literally, I went home. I'm like, I don't know what to do. A couple of my clients were like, hey, can you somehow bring a class online, and maybe this class or that class? And I think we jumped on Zoom right away and told our members that, hey, we're doing live classes, but we also wanted to have a library where the people can go in and pick different classes. So me not having any technology background, I don't even know the word, and believing in the universe that always has my back, send me an angel, Rebecca, and I'll hand it over to her, and she can let you know what we did to switch over to virtual yoga studio. This is Rebecca. We're gonna get our 6 feet right.
Hi everybody, it's so nice to be here. I'll jump right in to save some time. So the minute that we heard the announcement on the news that the stay-in-place orders were made, I believe Moji and I met about an hour later, and we gave ourselves an hour to completely fall apart, and we freaked out. We didn't know what to do. We were just kind of in a panic. It was very overwhelming emotionally, as well as just kind of mentally wrapping our heads around it. So what we ended up doing was, in 4 days, we were able to create a completely new website, a new online platform. We transferred from a 100% in-person studio to a 100% virtual studio. And this is something that we could do in probably a month normally, or 6 weeks, and we were able to do it in about 4. We made a decision right then and there that we only had one choice, and that was to pivot the business if we wanted to continue to provide mental, emotional, and physical support during this time. And it's our belief that yoga and meditation is an essential tool in times of stress and uncertainty. So we definitely felt like we had a responsibility as well. We decided to utilize this time to rebrand, to refocus, and to serve the community in our offerings. And so we actually created a new website. We utilized an online platform called Kajabi at first, where we were able to set up lighting. We got all of our teachers that were able and willing to continue teaching set up in their homes so they could actually safely teach from their homes. This allowed actually a few of our staff who are immune compromised to continue offering their teachings and their classes to our community. We also decided to create a more affordable membership for our existing members and new people that were coming in that wanted yoga and meditation during this time. So going virtual actually allowed us to become more accessible to our community. In addition, our community expanded not only in person in Pleasanton and the Tri-Valley area, but to the 4.5 billion people that are currently on the internet, which is pretty expansive. I just got chills even thinking about it. So to attract new clients and new students, we also in 4 days designed a 16-page guidebook that was all about helping people create a home practice. A lot of our new students that are coming in have never done yoga before, or actually aren't comfortable or don't know how to practice in their home. So we were able to provide that. That also is our freebie that we give out on our website. So people can get us through that, and we're able to communicate through new people as well. I think that's a lot. We also started offering kids classes because as a mother of 4, and another partner of ours, Shanna, who is watching, has 5 kids, all of a sudden, some of us were now homeschool teachers as well as yoga teachers. And so being able to give kids 1 hour to just be in front of a TV doing mindful work was pretty amazing. So that was all in 4 days. We have expanded our membership numbers, which has been great. We hope to continue to offer virtual memberships, virtual classes once stay in place is lifted, which has completely pivoted our business model and our business vision. And also, like I said before, our whole community has changed to a virtual global community, which is amazing. And we're able to outreach to other people in our community. So we're launching this week actually free classes to essential workers. And I have 2 tips. I'm going to make this as quick as possible. I think what we've learned through this is that the #1 thing you can do as a business owner right now is approach your business in a completely new light. We really had to, at some times, we would come to some challenges and obstacles and have to back up and say, wait a minute, that was the old way of thinking. We actually get to think of this in a completely different way, a mindset shift, which thankfully a lot of us in the yoga world are very naturally good at. And then the other tip we have to provide some other businesses is that really try to find some joy in finding the opportunities, the cracks of light in the pivot. We've been able to find some really fun and creative ways to like refocus our business. And it's been, without tears, would not be true. We've cried quite a few times, and we've had our moments where we've had to FaceTime like in all weird hours of the night, but to find joy in the opportunities that come up, because like I'm hearing with all these other businesses, there is opportunity here when we pivot, and we get to serve the community in such a more expanded way. And we're learning a lot. You know, we're learning a lot about ourselves, our ability to endure uncertainty. And I think we believe we're going to come out of this as a community even stronger. So thanks for having us.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Mojan. Wow, you've got so much positivity. I love it. And what's that?
It's yoga and meditation.
Is that what it is? Okay, good. Well, we need to start. I need to start. So our last speaker for this afternoon, and hopefully we'll have time for some questions. I've been following the chat, is Ellen Penske with Bumblebee Marketing Services. Ellen's the CEO and co-founder. She's also been a big supporter of the chamber, been on our board, and just does so much for our community. Ellen, is so happy you could join us today.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And it was really interesting to hear all the stories. And I'm a customer of almost everybody there, so it was interesting to hear their perspective. And I am the Queen Bee. That's right. I'm the Queen Bee of Bumblebee Marketing. And we have been in business since 2001, so almost 20 years. And we like to say that we help businesses create buzz. That's really what we're all about. And we do it from an approach of communications. That's my background. And I look at things from communications. How can we get people to take actions and to do things? And why we're different is that we look at things with the right kind of combination of creativity and responsiveness and getting things done. So that's really important to us as a marketing company and helping businesses like the ones that are here and many of you who are out in the audience. And then the other thing that's really important to Bumblebee Marketing is the community and being community minded. And across the bottom there of my slide, you see some examples. I've been very involved with the Chamber and Community of Character, PPIE, and lots of things. And I strongly believe in giving back. And that's an important component of a lot of the things that we do. So if you want to move to the next slide, I've got an assistant here. Thank you, Lisa. What's important about the story of Bumblebee is that we have 6 core competencies. Now, we've been around, we've been in business for almost 20 years. And so these core competencies haven't really changed that much, a little bit here and there, but digital marketing has always been important to us. And we've always done targeted demand generation programs, email kinds of programs, always done those kinds of things. So when the pandemic hit, that was good, right? It wasn't good, but it became even more important. And I love to hear Wendy kind of talking about that and Yoga Barn talking about their things. Websites, we've always done compelling websites, adding SEO, search engine optimization, analytics, content, and all those things. That's always been important to us. Third one is social media. We really know social media. We've been doing that for a while, and I loved hearing some of the people talking about how important it is, and now more important than ever. We've also created sales assets, videos, collaterals, customer wins, infographics, all of those kinds of tools. Those have always been important to us. And then there's marketing events. Now, yes, a good portion of our business was marketing events, basic conferences, road shows, all kinds of things. So that was a big part of our business. Not the only part, but it was a big part of our business. And then PR and branding in the public relations area, and creating brands and logos and look and feel and all those kinds of things. So when the pandemic hit for us, one of the things, and I heard somebody else say it too, and it was exactly right. I thought, oh, we have to do things differently, not totally differently, because yeah, we were already doing digital marketing. We're already doing websites and social media, but marketing events was a big part of what we had to do. So we had to think differently. And the other thing that I really wanted to think about is, and somebody else mentioned it as well, but I thought about my employees. So my first thought was, are we going to go out of business? Are people going to still want us? What's going to happen? And I felt a responsibility to our employees. But what I found after, I would say, the first day or two is if I started thinking differently and started thinking about our marketing events can be virtual events, and just thinking differently about what we were doing. And it actually became a very creative time for us. And not that we like to think of ourselves as being creative, but I really spent the time thinking about being creative and how can we do things differently. And I'm going to share some of those ideas with you in a couple minutes. And if you want to go to the next slide. So what we came up with, and what has been the core for, especially for our last couple months, is always being prepared for this digital new normal. And we created what we call the digital duffel bag. Okay, so because it's not business as usual, it's business as unusual. And as somebody else mentioned, we're going to probably be like this for a little while here. So there's this digital duffel bag that we've created, and we've got 6 key areas that I want to talk about for a couple minutes that I see as tips for businesses that are here speaking, and those of you out in the audience. And I'm going to go through those in just a little bit of detail. I know I only have 5 minutes, but I'll go through it in a little bit of detail. So the first tip in our digital duffel bag is to communicate and communicate and communicate. And as I said, I wasn't sure, were our clients going to still need us? Will they still want us? Well, guess what? They needed us more than ever. They needed us to help them communicate. And that communication, a lot of people talk about communicating to your customers, but you also have to communicate internally. And even, and we're a small company as well. And even though we work together and we've always, you know, and we're used to online, even us, I found I had to put together what I call rules of engagement. Because now we're all working at home, and we've always been in the office together, but we're working at home. So the rules of engagement is, when do I look at my email? When do I send you a Slack? When do I text you? What are your work hours? What's going on? It's a different kind of style. And so even us, as informal as we were, I had to sit the group down together, and actually we started meeting at least once a week. That's a mandate that we're still doing. We've been doing it at least once a week. We get on a Zoom. Sometimes it's a happy hour. Sometimes it's the rules of engagement. Sometimes it's just kind of fun. Sometimes it's like, how are you doing? But we're doing that. And so I can't emphasize enough how important it is to communicate. For a lot of our clients, we've been putting together the communications that go out and say, what does this mean to your customers? How are we operating now? But both internal and external communications are really key. The second thing is telling your story. So everybody has a story. Some people's stories have to change. Some people's story changed a little bit, but just really understanding what that story is. And we've been helping a number of our clients tell that story. And again, whether it's a new story or just needs to change a little bit, we have a messaging framework that we use. And we've been helping our clients with that through this messaging framework. Who are you? What do you mean? I thought Inklings, I thought you did a great job of really understanding and staying true to your story as a good example. You know, that's what you did, and you stayed true to that. So we have a messaging framework. Not everybody understands that or understands what to do with that, but it's really important. So that's the second point. The third point is what I would call external communications, and that's social and really using social media and using PR and roadmaps. So we've created, and it's kind of hard to see there, but that third point there is our social roadmap. So a lot of people think that social media means that you post some things here and there and you hope people see it. really, we look at social media from more of a strategic point of view. What's the messages? It comes back to starting with your story. What are the messages you want to get out? When do you want to get them out? Who do you want to get them out to? And what visuals and graphics should be in there? So for a lot of our clients, and we've been doing a lot of this, especially in the past couple of months, creating these social roadmaps. So that's the third thing. Over on the left, on the bottom, is a topic that I loved. I heard a number of times that people said it, and it's partnerships. I think partnerships are very crucial. And I loved how Inklings, you did it. Wendy, you were talking about partnering, and well, actually almost everybody did, Saltcraft as well. So partnering with companies who have complementary services or things that you can work on, I think that is so crucial, and that's important. And we do it as well. We have partners who do complementary services to what we have. So they have customers, we have customers, and I'm happy to say that even in this pandemic era, in the last couple of months, we've picked up 3 new clients, brand new clients that came from our partnerships. So that's been really exciting, and I think that just continues. And I'm showing here a little example of Build a Better You, which is the partnerships of Yoshi's company, Yoga Barn, and all the companies over there in Adobe Plaza. We put together a Build a Better You, and we partnered the companies. The hair salon, yoga, Pilates, you know, all of those things together. And so that's just understanding who you could partner with and how you can help each other. And that could be offering services, benefiting each other, just sharing lists of customers that can work together. So partnerships are really, really important. And then, and again, this was mentioned before, having a compelling digital presence. And I loved that Wendy said, I think it was Wendy, and also I heard Yoga Barn say it, that, yeah, we had a website, but we probably weren't doing too much about it. And we know we need to. I see Wendy laughing. But yeah, now we've really got to up our game on our digital presence. And it's having it compelling, and a word we use a lot is engaging. What do people do with it? What can we do? What kind of services can we offer it? So you do need to have a compelling digital presence, but you also need to make sure that people come there. And that's where using the combination of social media, PR, getting the word out in lots of different ways is really important. But you do have to have a strong digital presence. And then the last item in our bag of tricks, our digital duffel bag, if you will, is virtual events. And as I mentioned, you know, we did do a lot of events. We had a heartbreaking story for us. For a year and a half, I've been working on a 3,000 person conference that was going to be held in San Francisco. It was a 100-year anniversary of an association. We had all of these things. We've been working on it for so long. It was supposed to have taken place last week in San Francisco. So a year and a half in the planning. So that event, so we knew we had to look at things differently. That event actually is still happening. I think it's been moved out to the end of October in San Francisco. And the San Francisco mayor called me the other day and said, "Are you guys still doing your event? Because I still want to come." You know, and I said, "I hope so." So that hasn't turned into a virtual event yet. That is still, and all the great things. We had so many really fun and interesting things planned, and road shows, and a lot of those kinds of things did get canceled for us. So that's when we came up with a digital duffel bag and created virtual events. And I wanted to spend just a couple minutes. Do I have a couple more minutes, Steve?
Almost.
2 minutes. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you, because a lot of people are doing webinars and they're really important, but the point is that you can't just do a basic webinar. You really have to do something that's going to engage and get people interested. So if you want to go to the next couple slides, I'll just share with you a couple of things that I was able to successfully move some of the live events that we had and turn them into virtual events. And we've gotten so much more business from existing clients because we're doing a munch and learn. So Matt, for you, we invited a chef, and we're going to have a chef come and do an actual cooking demonstration. And the people who attend get Uber Eats cards. And then we want to support local restaurants and businesses. And we're doing these all over the country, by the way. And we're giving out $100 gift certificates to the local restaurants. And then let me just show you another, just a couple more. The next one, if you can, Lisa. There's a Mosaic, if any of you have seen that, where it's online and you actually use Instagram, put photos in, the photos turn out to become a whole mosaic. And so we've actually proposed these to schools for graduation, and a dog kennel is doing that. This is more in the consumer area. And it's just kind of fun. And this is kind of the fun thing. If you have loyal customers, people like to see the pictures, and they also front end a webinar. And then the last one, I think I'll just show you just as an example, is tying into the movie. You know, everybody does like the movies. You can't get there anymore, but we're using it kind of as a sneak peek or a movie trailer, and we've tied it in. And so we've successfully been able to, I have 8 events that we've turned virtual events with some of these and some other ideas too. So don't want to take any more time. Just wanted to share some tips and tricks, and just love hearing from you guys, and love to help. If anybody has any questions, let us know.
Great. Thank you, Ellen. Really creative stuff. And I appreciate you supporting all the businesses that you know here by shopping when you could, and the work that you do for them as well. Going through the Q&A here, we do have one question in the Q&A. This is from Shipra from JJ's Threading. How soon do you think salons can open in Pleasanton? Does anyone want to take that one? Lisa,
I'll
do you?
go ahead. Yeah. So from the city standpoint, I mean, I know a lot of you are anxious to open, and you know, the orders that come out from the Alameda County Public Health Officer is what the city is required to adhere to. And so when they do have those orders where they will release you know, more business types that can open, then that's when Pleasanton will be able to follow suit in doing that. And so the decision is not necessarily by the local jurisdiction. We really do need to adhere to what the county orders are when it comes to the business types that are opening. So that's what I can say to that.
Well,
Yeah.
we have one little glimmer of hope. The governor today released 10 counties to open restaurants and malls. So hopefully they'll get to Alameda County one of these days.
Great, great. Yeah, there was another similar question to that about Susie with Dog Soul Dog Training, wanting to know when she could reopen her training facility. And I'm assuming, obviously, I think it's the same answer, right, Lisa? We've really got to wait for the county to give us those directions and orders.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we need to look at what the business types are, and then we'll be able to get that information out to our business community so that they can be prepared to open.
And that's one of the things that all of us are focusing on, the city, the chamber, and the downtown association, to make sure we get that out as soon as we receive that from the county. Michelle Pena asks, how do we apply for help?
So the mayor had mentioned our city's business support program, and so the information is on our city website. I included it in the chat, and we'll also have it on a slide at the end of the webinar. But just briefly, that is our city council approved a $3 million fund for small business loans to eligible businesses with a focus on retail and restaurants. And so we really encourage our business community, including retail and restaurants, to apply. The application portal opened up last Friday. We're seeing a lot of applications being submitted. We're getting ready to, our team has been reviewing applications. We're getting ready to approve some out the door, and we're excited to be able to offer that. And we're thankful that the council and our city team supported, you know, that type of business support for our community. And so hoping to get those checks into our business hands so that they could bridge that gap until they receive their EIDL loans or their EIDL advance, or I know many businesses have applied for the PPP. And so this is really how we are trying to help our businesses here in Pleasanton.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know much about the EIDL or the PPP loans, you can go to the chamber website, pleasanton.org, and click on COVID-19 information, and that'll help you there. Or email me once you get that information as well. Another similar question here from Robin Farr. although we adhere to the Alameda County, is there a possibility that we can be seen apart from Oakland, for example? We are such a unique city, Pleasanton. Is that something we can look at?
Unfortunately,
That's
no.
something we are looking at, Steve, because I think a lot of what the county does is kind of based on the experience in Oakland. And actually up and down the 880 corridor is not in great shape either, but the Tri-Valley is a very different place from Oakland or the 880 corridor. So I think it could be done because we haven't had new cases in a couple of days, I think.
Okay, well, it's good to know we're at least talking about it, because I know a lot of folks feel that same way. So a couple questions about rent abatement from Darshana. She's got one of a business in her building that's received an abatement. She did not. And she's just wondering if there's any opportunities for that. Any suggestions? I mean, I could just say that we have talked to our landlord, and fortunately we're able to work out a 50% reduction and with paying it deferred payment. And really, it's, from my perspective, it's the relationship that you have with the landlord. And I don't know if anyone else has anything else to add to that. No? Mayor? I'm sorry, Matt, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I did a deferred payment. I don't think my landlord was in a position to give me a full abatement. I've heard all kinds of different things. People getting a couple months rent for free, a month, or 50% off until, for, further notice. But I think the biggest thing is just to really ask and like you said, hopefully you have a good relationship beforehand, and this is the time to, to hopefully lean on that. But it never hurts to ask and to see what you can, get or negotiate. Anything helps.
Great. A question here from Herb Ritter. What one thing could the city, Pleasanton Downtown Association, or Chamber do to help your business segment over the next 2 to 3 months? And that's, I think he's speaking to you panelists. Any suggestions? Anything we could do to help you in the next 2 to 3 months?
This is Moji with Yoga Barn. I really think just maybe with negotiation with landlords, where if they have the ability to give us the 50% or whatever, not defer, because once we come back, it's still not going to be 100% business. We still have, it's going to be 6 feet apart. We're going to have to watch everything. So really just helping us, backing us up when we talk to our landlords, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other
mine
thing
is
is
a
don't forget
private
about
owner.
What was
don't
that?
forget about the COVID-19 business support fund with the city too. If you're eligible, please go ahead and apply for it.
Right. Wendy, you said something. I think.
Oh, I said,
yeah.
like my building is it's a private owner. So it's a little bit difficult to ask a private owner who's probably going through the same thing to reduce rent, or, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And it also doesn't hurt to have the PDA or Pleasanton back us up. If there's some sort of incentive for the landlord to do something for the business owners.
Great.
Can I say one thing?
Sure, Matt. Yeah.
I think you guys are already doing this, but I mean, I think the real big thing is just to, really help promote and encourage, the community, or create more awareness of who's open, and really, get that message out there as to the community as, fast and as efficiently and best as possible. Because those are those are ultimately the people who are really going to help support us and get us through this, because, they're going to help provide income.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
In response to Matt, if I could quickly, real quick, Steve, the City of Pleasanton created open for business signs. So we have those available to businesses, those that are open. They can request those through our city website. And so they're about like 11 by 17 size signs, and they say open for delivery, open for takeout, come on in, we're open. And they're very recognizable. I know many of our downtown businesses have those displayed, as well as in the Hacienda Business Park. And then online on our website, we also have a web base or a map that has all of the open businesses. And so businesses can also add themselves to that as well. And so that's also accessible on the city's business support website. So you can filter that down. You can look at just the downtown area. You can, if you're just looking for restaurants, or if you're looking for a certain type of business, you can filter that out and then see what are all the businesses.
Lisa, one quick question regarding the small business loan assistance program from the city. This question is from Lori. Do you have to have at least 2 employees to qualify? Is that correct? Or
so if you're a retail or a restaurant, it's 20 or less employees. If you're a micro business where you're not a retail or restaurant, you're another type of business type, it would be between 2 and 10 employees. And we've designated on our website what the eligibility requirements are for business types. So I would really suggest looking at the city's website and determine whether or not your business type would be eligible.
we had a question from a hairstylist, Christine. How can we pivot our business? It's a little difficult because they're still closed. So any ideas, Ellen Pensky, for Christine?
Well, thinking about different ways to do things, different services that you could offer. I've heard about hairstylists who are offering dye kits, and maybe you could do a how-to on how to do haircuts with a coupon to come back to them, and get the word out. Offers like that, things that could be helpful. Packaging up those kinds of things. Offering, having people buy gift certificates now that they could use later could be helpful. Those are just a couple of the things. And then back to my idea about partnerships. Maybe you can partner with, the restaurant or Wendy's company and see if you could do things. And see Wendy's saying she needs you now. So look at her, she looks great. And so things, partnering and thinking about other businesses that you could work together with. And I know Christine, so Christine, I'll help you offline. How about that?
I'd also like to add one thing if possible.
Sure.
A lot of my friends are in this industry, so I'll just share really quickly what they're doing just to help out. One major thing is just to keep your followers updated, meaning like do DIYs on your social media to gain more followers, which will in turn, they'll want to buy more gift certificates or buy them for other people. I've done it on my Instagram. I'm offering a couple of like little mini things like make your own mask from your refrigerator, or I have some nail technician friends. They're making their own sets. They are painting it themselves, and then they're selling these professional sets for you to press on yourself. So there's a lot of different ways, being a person who works in the service industry, how you're going to be able to continue working.
Great. We're past our time, but I want to ask this one question that was asked. How do I get more hand sanitizer for my business? Anybody have any suggestions for this individual? I'm trying to, I think it was from
You could
Vera.
buy it from me.
Oh, Wendy's got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, reliable touchless hand sanitizers. That's what she's looking for.
I actually did just recently buy a big case of, actually we went to Oregon to buy alcohol, organic grain-based alcohol that is going to be what the CDC and the WHO recommended for hand sanitizer. But for the touchless, there are a couple of machines you can buy from Uline. That's where I got mine. They're a little bit on the expensive side, but they are a sensor. You put your hand underneath it and it sprays it out, and then you rub your hands together. I continue to say my suggestion is still the same for everybody. Hand sanitizing is a secondary option. Hand washing is always the first option.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm
Steve,
going to,
before we
Right.
wrap up, I see a few questions that reference the partnerships, which I think has been a really great theme that we've had today.
yeah,
So I just wanted to put out there I know that Matt and Joe both talked about partnerships, and Joe talked a lot about the community partners. And then Matt talked about, selling at Metalark and Jeans. And there was a question there on the, yeah, there you go. And that was asked was, how do businesses connect with one another? And there was a suggestion that the city and chamber put together a list, but if Joe and Matt can maybe talk about how did they connect with these other businesses to provide those types, provide their products somewhere else.
I mean, for us, it was just, either we, it's a small community. We become friends and just approach each other. I mean, every business owner in this area, we're all looking, to be supportive and, and everyone has been friendly. I mean, every single business, has been very supportive, whether it's suggestions, whether it's, loaning you something, and when you're in dire needs. But, my suggestion is just get out there and talk to people. We're all here to help each other out.
Yeah, I can't recommend more. I mean, for me, what we did was I used, my network that I currently have already, and then just built from that. I knew a few people who knew a few people who knew a few people. And so I really just built kind of a networking community from that. So
Awesome. Thank you.
I gave samples to businesses and other people. That was one of the major things. Just walking up and down Main Street, hand soap, hand sanitizer, give it away. For me, it was something that I felt like I wanted to do. It was a personal feeling that I wanted to gift. But if you are able to offer some sort of sample, if that's what you're trying to do in order for somebody to want to partner with you, I think that's a great idea too.
Great. Thanks, Wendy. Thank you.
great. Thank you all for your help. And I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to close this out. Appreciate all your time, and thanks to the people that joined us today.
We're actually going to have the mayor say some closing remarks. So Mayor, I invite you to go ahead and take it away.
Okay, well, this has been a very, very insightful discussion. The creativity is just remarkable. And I'd like to also thank the Pleasanton Downtown Association and the Chamber for joining with the city to bring this webinar to you. A special thanks to Ellen Pinsky for all the marketing tips. If you'd like to reach out to any of our panelists to get more information, we're providing their contact information on the slide that you see on the screen. Lastly, thank to all of you who tuned in today. And we hope the information shared has served a resource in your business. Today's webinar was recorded and will be available on all the host websites. So thank you very much, everyone.
All right. We'll see you soon for our next webinar.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
For having me.
thank you.
Bye.